Lord, we just thank you for the day, Lord. We just ask that you be with us tonight as we discuss important business of this district, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you be with our kids, our staff, our parents, and our administration, Lord. Lord, be with us tonight as we read in this part of this area, Lord. Lord, we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. And I skipped the fact that there's been notification of the news media and the Marlboro Herald is here. Would someone please make a motion to approve the agenda?
Madam Chair, I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Is there a second? All in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. And under recognitions, Ms. Davita McCall has the spelling bee winners. If they want to do it while we're working, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay. Good evening.
Hi, Ms. McCall.
On January 27th, we had the district spelling bee, and tonight we would like to present the spelling bee, the district winners, with their checks. The first place winner will receive, the overall winner, will receive $100. The first runner-up will receive $50. The second runner-up will receive $25, and the third runner-up will receive $25. And we would also like to thank Mr. Sully Blair for donating some of the funds for these winners. So with the winners, if the winners are not present with the principals, please come up and accept in their absence. Our third runner-up was Ms. Tanaya David, and she attends Blenheim Elementary Middle School. Our second runner-up was Ms. Hadia Atkinson, and she also attends Blenheim Elementary Middle School. Our first runner-up, congratulations, was Ms. Trinity Townsend, and she attends the School of Discovery. And Ms. Dees will be accepting for her. And stay up, Ms. Dees. And our district overall winner was Ms. Uni Hong. And Uni, even though Uni isn't present tonight, she also made it to the fourth round of the regional spelling bee.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McCall. Dr. Cobb, the Cleanliness Award.
Mr. Two. Well, Madam Chair, school board members, the Cleanliness Award for the district buildings, I think it's the first time this year, goes to the school district office. And once again, the Cleanliness Award for the schools will go to Bennettsville Primary School. Thank you.
And I just like to recognize our spelling bee winner. She's our district winner. Miss Holly. Oh, sorry. Oh, this one. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb. We need a motion to approve the minutes for February 1st, 2016.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
A second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Okay, it was unanimous. All right, thank you. And we have individuals or groups who wish to appear before the board. Mr. Lorenzo McCrae wants to speak about Walker Park.
Madam Chairman, school board members, my name is Lorenzo McCrae. Come before you tonight to inquire about some monies for Walker Park. I don't know how true it is, but I hear that is some money that's already allocated for Walker's Park to beautify it. And I grew up in what you call West Bennisville on Hudson Street, and I've been talking to some of the old alumni from there, or some of their family members that also graduated from East Side, and we would like to know what is the delay of approving the money for Walker Park, and why has it been such a delay, if it is a delay. But anyway, our question is, what is the problem with funding the Walker's Park? And we hear that it is some money that's already there. We're not asking the board for it. They say the money is there. They think it might be a vote to be taken. So we want to know why that hasn't been done. And those are my questions for the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCrae. And Mr. James Abraham Jr., and he'd also like to speak about Walker Park.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I would like to say I thank you for this opportunity to speak to the board. Again, I want to introduce myself as James Abraham Jr. I am presently the president of the class of 1966. I'm also a graduate of Eastside High School, and also my principal at that time was Mr. Floyd B. Walker, Sr. And this is what I would like to present to the board. We are preparing for our 50th class reunion in May of 2016. And we understand that some funds are allocated to assist with this project in Walker Park. We would like to know when the funds would be released. Our class has voted to assist with a donation for equipment to Walker Park. And it would be greatly appreciated if we could know when the release date would be so that we could move forward with our plan. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. And under individual board member items, Mrs. Bright has opted to postpone her item, which is teacher incentives. And so we move to Walker Park and Reverend Woods.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Some months ago, we had decided to come together as a board to make sure that ask our district, our attorney, to meet with the other attorneys that was involved with the Walker Park issue. And I have had several citizens from Marlboro County have called about Walker Park. And I just like for the board, want the people to know that I don't think nobody on this board want to see that we would stop anything from being developed and making the community better. And I'd like for us to see how we can move forward on this issue when it comes to Walker Park. so that we could do right, make sure that we're doing what's right for the community. Because what we wanted to make sure that when it came down to the legal aspects of it, that we were doing everything the right way. But I think it's time for us to move forward on this issue.
Did you want to ask Dr. Tiller what has happened
Doctor,
between
do
the
you have any
attorneys?
information from our attorney? Because I spoke to him. Do you have any information?
No, I do not. I did have a missed call from Dave Duff this afternoon. I returned his call, and then I wasn't able to talk with him. But I know that the very last thing was he was supposed to be talking with the attorney for the city, and that's as much as I know. Yes, sir.
Mr. Coachman?
You go, Mr. Branch.
All right, Mr. Branch?
It's my understanding, and I'm going to kind of address the two individuals that spoke. It's my understanding that we can't act on this until the city acts on it first. And I'll be glad to go to the next City of Bennettsville board meeting, which will be the third Tuesday night of this month. And I'll get on their agenda and ask them if they'll act on it. I mean, I'll be glad to do that.
We need, my concern is I don't want anyone to think that Marlboro County School Board will stop anyone from doing something for Marlboro County. And we've been holding on this for several months, and we need to move and let the citizen know that we want to support this and we want to move forward on this issue.
But we can't take a vote on it.
Yeah, we can't take a vote on it, but-
We can't take a vote on it until they act on it.
Right.
Can I comment on his comment?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My understanding of talking with some of the city council people that they are waiting on you all.
Well, Ms. Bright called the card board. You want to address that?
Ms. Bright?
Miss Bright made a phone call to Columbia to inquire. The school district does not have the authority to apply or receive a PARD grant. This is a Parks and Recreation Development Grant. That money is designated and allocated by our delegation. And it's the delegation's responsibility to determine where that goes. We can't do anything because we don't have the authority to apply for it. So therefore, there's not any action that can be taken by the school board because there's been no action taken by the city, which is who in essence would have to make the request for the grant. Because again, it's Parks and Recreation. It cannot be presented to an individual. It cannot be presented to a school district. So therefore, we don't have anything to act on. And that's been the dilemma this whole time, from the time this grant has been brought up. We don't have any interest in delaying anything. There's just nothing for us to act on because we can't receive the grant.
I get the mail tomorrow. See what he said.
Yeah, I've also been told, yes, sir. I've also been told that the mayor, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I was told that he was ready to act on this process with this grant money. But the fact remains, it has to be an agreement made. So our attorney and the city attorney has to get together and make an agreement. Okay, the school board does not have anything to do with how the money is allocated. Okay, they're saying that we have the deed to the property. We may have the deed, but we still cannot enter into that agreement. It's not on the school board until the city attorney and the district attorney get together and make some type of agreement. We're gonna keep coming back to the table about Walker Park because there's nothing that we can do. Okay, the attorneys have to get together and make some sort of agreement. Okay,
Mr.
it's not
Coachman?
on the school board.
Yes, ma'am. Now, my understanding is the 40-something thousand plus dollars that went out and sought park grant money by Representative Hennigan, that county council has already taken their money, their part of the money. That's correct. They didn't need an attorney or anybody to tell them to accept their money to slow process this down. And I'm thinking they asking, Dr. Tiller, you came up with a letter for us to vote to give approval for us to move forward.
Well, what we can do as a school district, we cannot apply for the money, but if a governmental entity like the city, is going to apply for it, then we can write a letter of support to the city.
So you just need our approval to write that letter of support to the city, is that correct?
It's not just that. The city has to decide first that they're going to apply for it.
Right.
And then once the city decides that they're going to apply, then we can write a letter of support, if that's what the board wants to do.
Well,
Hang on.
Let me finish. Well, I think that, you know, we played around with this long enough. Matter of fact, it's getting to the point where city, county, and
what I'm
school
talking
board is separating over it, and over free money for a park that really needs the funds, and that is in our community. And I think we need to move forward with it as fast as possible.
Would you like to make a motion for a letter of support?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
All right.
I like to make.
Madam Chairman, a point of order, if I may, and I understand what you're saying, and the superintendent has answered that the city, excuse me, ma'am, will you, I have been waiting.
I know, hang on.
And I'm not going to wait any longer. Because
Well, hang on, let him finish.
Yes.
And then I'd already told you I was going
Thank
to
you.
call on you. All right, finish, Mr. Coachman.
I'd like to make a motion that we give Dr. Tiller the authorizations for a letter of support from the school board to the city to move forward so we can receive the funds for Walker Park.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, please raise your right
Discussion
hand.
first.
Oh, yes, we certainly can.
I just want to make sure that we're not biting off more than we can chew as far as legalities here. Dr. Tiller, did you say that the city needed to make a move first?
Yeah, in other words.
That was the advice by our legal?
No,
Okay.
it's that it is a grant that can be given to a county or city, a governmental entity. But as a school district, we cannot receive the money because it's for parks and recreation. So if the city of Bennettsville decides that they're going to apply for the money, then we can partner with them and say that we support them in this effort. It's just a letter of support.
That's all it is.
But we would write the letter of support once they decide as a city council that they want to move forward.
Ms. Morrison, this came before the board 2 years ago. It was up papers 18 months ago. Now, we are talking, I need to see in a letter from our attorney and a letter from the city attorney. Our attorney needs to request what he needs, and the city attorney needs to respond to that letter. Then we will know where the ball is.
That's
Now,
what we
that
had
is-
tried to do before.
I mean, did our attorney send the letter? Do we have a copy of that letter? Did the city receive it? Did they respond? If they did not,
Good
then...
questions.
So those are the things that we can talk about this all day, but until somebody, till we say, okay, Dave Duff sent the city attorney, which is Greg Old Nation, to the city of Bennettsville. That letter should have been presented to the city council. If the city council decided not to go forward, that should be in their minutes, and we would know where we are.
Would you like to make a motion that we instruct Dr. Tiller to bring that
I
information
already got a
to us?
motion on the floor.
It's
Yes.
not that she's going to do it now. I just want to know. I want us to move forward with an
I would like
action.
to have some letters. Yes, I would do that.
All right. We have a motion and a second on the floor at the moment. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Chairman, there is other discussion.
All right, Mr. Goff.
Again, let me just say that the school district is being villainized for something
Right.
that has nothing to do with the Marlboro County School District. Ms. Fleming said that this has been going on for 18 months. In 18 months,
Longer.
we've not received any correspondence from the city of Bennettsville indicating that they've taken any action to move forward with acquiring the grant. Dr. Tiller, I don't want to make that assumption. Dr. Tiller, to date, have we received any correspondence from the city of Bennettsville in regards to the PARD grant and their interest in pursuing a joint venture with the Marlboro County School District?
No, sir, I have not received that.
Okay, so to date, we have nothing from the city of Bennettsville, and people keep coming back to us and asking us why we're failing to take action. We can't take action. It's not our place to take action. All we can do is partner with an entity that is authorized to receive this money. If they don't want to apply to receive the money, then it doesn't matter what we want to do. But this is not our doing. Again,
No, it's
we
not.
can't, we don't control the money. It's not ours to give or to receive.
But the letter of
money's to
support will
give.
help.
Well, the letter of, if the letter of support is so important and they're so hungry, why have they not simply corresponded? And everybody on the city council, I've had a conversation with the mayor myself. I know there's other council members that are aware of it. So their failure to act does not dictate an emergency on our part to run out and try. We can't do anything. If they want to contact us to support and enter in because the property technically is ours and they want to enter in with us to a joint agreement, things that have been done before, similar to things that we've done with the county and other entities, why has nobody contacted us? Again, no formal communication with anybody on the Marlboro County School District in regards to this, but it's our issue. It's not our issue, and I mean, and I appreciate your effort to move forward, and I think we would all like to see this move forward. The people responsible for getting the ball rolling need to get the ball rolling. It's not on the Marlboro County School District.
And I think that Mr. McCray and Mr. Abraham, I want you to be clear on that this is not that where you need to go and ask for a definitive answer, because this came before us. It's not the first time that we've been through this, and until some paperwork, some responses to the letters, like business is supposed to be done, until that is done, we've done the letter, and we've asked for that, and I want you to go to City Council and the mayor of for the city of Bennettsville and ask them the questions that you're asking us, because we've been there. Now, if they don't want to do it, then they need to say no. If they don't want to do it, say no.
All right, and we'll recognize Ms. O'Nation now.
I just want to reiterate that the attorneys do not make decisions about this, that the city council must vote on this. We all understand that. But it has not been brought before the city council either. I'm not going to go into why they're not, but that is their job and their vote. Attorneys react to what their counsel says and ask them to do. There's been a problem here. I'm not saying a problem. The city of Bennettsville may have very good reasons why they are doing what they're doing, which is inaction. But we do want to clarify that we are not an entity that can accept those funds. And I do want to say one other thing, that the county council applied for the funds, all of them, and it was awarded to them.
That's what the problem is.
And that money was to go to Blenheim. Now, why did that happen? Because Blenheim had never received a Parks and Recreation Department grant in the many, many years that we've had recreational facilities. And the reason they had not, as I understand it, from Mr. Driggers and from the PARD folks, is because Blenheim did not own its own property. So we, as a board, 2.5 years ago, I think, maybe 2, we deeded the land for Blenheim to have a gym and land around it for their children, for all of our children. And we understood at that time that that facility needed refurbishment. And the county council had said if we'll do that, they will agree among themselves that all of the money they receive as a county would go to Blenheim. So that was their gentlemen and ladies agreement among themselves for that 1 year. What has happened is that didn't happen. Now, every year there are applications for PARD grant money. There could have been another application this year, okay? That could happen, and it can be done by municipalities. We can't do it. It just so happens that we gave, in the best of intents, to honor the Walkers, whom I knew personally and think very highly of. We wanted that land to honor them, and we still do. But we don't have the authority to act on that until a municipality does. And we spend a lot of time trying to build relationships with the city of Bennettsville and with the county. I'm not trying to pass the buck. No. I'm just sharing with you what the picture is at this point. So for us to jump the gun, in my opinion, is not legal at this point and not appropriate at this point. But certainly this interest taken to the city will be helpful. We have to consider as a board all the facility needs that we have. We would have to deed this land or give a 99-year lease. I'm not going to go into all that right now in terms of their use of it if they were to get the PARD grant money for that. So it's not just a simple thing. There are other things that have to go into this to make it happen. But the first step is that the city of Bennettsville or another entity, governmental entity.
The chair recognizes Mr. Woods.
Ms. O'Neill, I understand everything you just said. The bottom line is this, that it's been back and forth from city, the county, and all this. My main concern is that I want the public and this community to know that there's nobody on this school board will stop anybody from trying to get a part done when it comes to development and making our community better. However, I believe that it is time for all this naysaying, who blame, and all this. If the city do not want to do it, we need to let the citizen know that the Marlboro County School Board is not the reason this is not being done. That is my purpose, because the citizens have a right to know that it's not us. It's not us doing it. We support it, but we got to wait to the fundamental. That's why we made the agreement that we ask our lawyer to get with the city lawyer to find out the legal aspects of it so that we can be on the up and up, make sure everything is done right. But the thing is, I wanted the public to know that it's not the Marlboro County School Board.
In order for them not to know that, if we vote for a letter of support, and it's off our hands, and maybe something can then happen.
And if the city council of Bennettsville votes it down, then the city council of Bennettsville will have to answer to the citizens.
Well, what we could do then, if that's the case, then until Dr. Tiller hears something, we could give her, if she hears something, and if all of us agree to it, then she can know she can do the letter, if she hears from the city.
She can know she can do the letter if we vote
That's
for
what
it
I'm saying.
tonight.
Right.
Is there any other debate? I have some statements to make.
Go ahead.
I'm very disappointed that we instructed our attorney, what was it, 2 years ago? And then again, and we've heard nothing. And I feel like when we instruct him to do something, we mean do it. And come back with some information. And I'd like for us to instruct Dr. Tiller tonight to get hold of Dave Duff and give us some specific information soon, like at the next meeting.
Excuse me, Ms. Parks, I heard from him, but I'd rather for it to be in writing what he shared with me.
Right, exactly.
Because if it go in writing, then we'll know. Because I had a conversation with him.
None of this stuff.
I had a conversation with him. So I asked him, could he put it in writing? Because I don't want to repeat anything and then he come back. Right. But I did have a conversation with him, and he should be able to put it in writing, the conversation that he did have with the city attorney.
Hang on, Mr. Goff.
I would just say that, when she issues correspondence, to just simply copy the board in on it.
Absolutely.
And he can reply
Good idea.
back.
That's exactly.
And his reply can be copied to the board as well. That's a simple solution to verify that communication.
Is there any other debate? Would you like to withdraw your motion or keep the motion?
I want to keep that motion.
All right,
for the
Mr.
question.
Branch?
Did Mr. Abraham have something else to say?
All right. We're kind of going into tricky territory here because we don't usually have these exchanges, but,
Just one question.
all right, go ahead.
And I understand what you're saying. So if the county is in control of that, and if nothing is done, like you're saying that you have to have a letter to approve, and just basically just saying that we approve what you're referring to, what happens to the money?
It goes somewhere else.
Somebody else to get it.
That would be a question for the delegation.
That's right.
That's what I'm afraid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
right.
am I.
It's allocated for a specific purpose. I don't think it goes anywhere else, but you could ask them that. I don't think it can, if it reallocates, then it will be up to them to reallocate it because it's already been designated to the delegation. That's my understanding, and it will be up to them if they were to disperse it in another manner.
So, Mr. Coachman, you still have a motion on the
Yes,
floor.
ma'am.
Would you like to restate it?
I'd like to make a motion that we give Dr. Tiller authorization to send a letter of support to the city of Bennettsville to help so that we move forward to allocate the funds for Walker Park.
I'll second.
All right. I think what she'd have to do is bring the letter of support back to us,
That's fine.
and then, we'd vote on it. All in favor of doing this, please raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the motion's carried. All opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4. The motion's carried. Thank you very much. All right. Next, Ms. Owen Nation would like to deal with board vision.
Well, we've got a lot on our plate. I'm going to shorten this, and maybe we can bring it up later.
All right.
I wanted to say that we have a lot of experience with children and a lot of untapped talent on this board. This is a board situation here that I'm talking about. And I think that we need to have a chance to talk to each other about our hopes and dreams for the children of this county, and how we might go about effecting them so that all of this talent and all of this experience, I'm thinking of Michael, 30 years volunteering with sports, Artemis with special needs children, Mr. Goff in the law enforcement area, and you all have talents. Nan's been a judge, you're in the medical field, Danny has agricultural background as well as coaching, and Jackie can do insurance. What I'm saying is, as an attorney in all of these things, how can we use our gifts in a more constructive way? Not so much as the actions of the board on all of the housekeeping and wonderful things we have to do, but on vision. What is it we really want for our district? We've never had a chance to do that. Workshop. And just really talk to each other without a lot of other things interfering. Just some time to be. And I just think it's important, and we as a board would work better together if we did that. And I think we're working better together. So it's a request of mine that we find some time to do that.
Exactly. I agree. A workshop. It's a workshop. Workshop. Propose a workshop.
Would you agree that an hour is not long enough in a workshop?
No, it's not. It's not. No.
I think we need a time that, well, you know, we have less formal, I don't recognize anybody and you just pop in, but we need something that's less formal, in my opinion, where we might break into smaller groups
about our
and
interests,
discuss things and then change the groups and that sort of thing. Would that format suit everyone?
Yes, I think that would suit me fine. I think that would be better.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Woods?
Madam Chairman, one of the things that we need to make sure that we understand that it's all about our children. You can't rush in meetings and workshops to strategy and have strategic plan meeting and decide what is best for these children, because our children deserve the best education that we can provide for them. You can't just come here from 5 to 6 and discuss things. You got to spend some quality time. And number one, you got to have an open mind to understand this is the 21st century. In order for our children from K through to high school to be successful, we got to come up with ways and understand that we got to provide a quality, upgrade, 21st century environment for them to be competitive when they leave here or whatever they decide to do. So in order for us to do that, we're going to have to spend some time, more than an hour, to look at the needs of the children.
Are you thinking of a retreat?
Yeah. Whatever. We just got to do it, because the children are the most important thing that we need to understand. Our students and our teachers and our staff are important to us, and they're the one educating. We got to put our heads together to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to make sure that we can accomplish the goals that we need to accomplish for these children of Marlboro County.
How would it suit you all to task Dr. Tiller and Ms. Tweed with getting a date that we could have a retreat? And it doesn't have to be on a weekend or that kind of thing, but a longer period of time.
Even an hour and a half, you know.
Yeah, or 2 or 3 hours.
And then we could try to commit to that.
That's agreeable with everyone for her to schedule that, so you've got your calendar out? Yeah, okay. All right. So anything else on board vision? Okay, good deal. And Ms. Fleming, finance workshops.
that's going to be continued, the financial workshop. We had a small meeting earlier, so right now there's really nothing that I want to report. I do want to say, and I want to slap each board members on the back for last Sunday. Look what we've done. We've argued and we've fussed and we've raised our voices, but we built 2 new schools, and hey, pat yourself on the back, 3. In 8 years, we built 2 new schools. Tell me another entity in this county that has done that.
Well,
they have not done it. Well, it's a beautiful school, and I was in that wonderful science teacher up there who I love so much, and I can't, what's her name?
Ms. Brigman.
Brigman, yeah, Miss Brigman. I was in Miss Brigman's class, and I went in and 3 little kids just jumped all over me on last Sunday. The little boy said, he's telling me, I'm going to be a neurosurgeon. And I was going to say, I'm going to be an architecture. And a little girl, she said, I'm going to be a forensic pathologist. Do you all I'm thinking, yes, it's worth every penny of it. And that was only 3 students that I had an opportunity to interact with. That was on Sunday. Monday, I was invited to the Venezuela Middle School, the intermediate school, in that gym. They had a wonderful program. Facilities wasn't that great, but the program was good. Then after that, I went to Blenheim the same day last Monday on a program there. Fantastic. They did an excellent job. So I'm sandwiched between 2 beautiful schools. Venezuela Intermediate in the middle, not so good, but the children were wonderful. So these workshops that we're talking about and these retreats, I've been saying for the longest time, we need retreats because we need to talk. Because board, we get stuff done. We get stuff done on this board. Yes, we do, Ms. Parson. Yes, we do. We've not had schools built in this county. Barbara, you've been on here long enough. You out here in the community, you know what we've done. Hey, I'm going to break my arm, pat myself on the back. Thank you.
And next is the Blenheim Athletic Fields update. Mr. Driggers.
I'm going to relinquish that to Mr. Brown if he's still here.
He's here.
Okay.
Mr. Brown.
Come up and give us a little update, Tim, if you would, please.
Madam Chairman, board members, Dr. Tiller, I have 3 reports, but I'm going to start in the middle because I've got them out of order. The Blenheim ball fields, the engineered plans have been prepared, and I have them with me tonight. Once the committee reviews the plans and any changes are made, the district can advertise for proposals to build 2 ball fields, baseball and softball fields. And football, I'm not sure where the money is, but I think the baseball is the most important thing to get started. Is that correct?
It was, but we're already in the baseball season now, so I mean, it's going to be for next year, but we were hoping to have it ready for this year. But
all right. Well, we've got the grading plans and the plans, and we have made some changes. I talked to you about that today. So that's kind of the update on the plans for the Blenheim fields.
So will we have a football field?
We have one design. I thought we were going to try to do the baseball fields first, but I've got both, so, you know.
What we have down there, and I'm getting in your business, Tim, I'm sorry. What we have down there is we do have the baseball fields. He has those already laid out to where they're going to go. We have a grading plan, from my understanding from Tim, where that's going to be, where the cut fields will be, what we're needed. And as far as the football field, we have it over here, but we have it designed, laid out. I do not think we have a cut field on.
We do. We have
a cut field on the football field also over there also. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, we were able to get it large enough for a soccer field also in the football.
That's correct. Yes,
That's
sir.
correct. So we can combine soccer and football on that field. And you know, I know that's one thing that we have here at the high school. We have problems with using football field. And during this time of the year, we're just out there the other night, it was pouring down rain, and they were out there playing, and I'm sure Dean is out there scratching his head trying to figure out what he's going to do with that grass. But that's an option that we could move that to Blenheim if we can get this fixed. this field completed down there, so we can move that also. But now I'll hush, now go ahead, Tim.
No, that's fine. The other, I was just going to say the other two presentations that I have would be, I think, down under update at school projects. So, is there any other questions on Blenheim?
We want those fields.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to get them.
What I'm understanding from you, Tim, is, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've got that done. What we need now, I guess, from Mr. Parks, we need some money. We need to know what type of money is still available to go in and do it, and then we're going to start doing some stuff on that.
We got 300,000.
All right. The other thing, if I could, the committee, I would like to recommend that we have a meeting on the Blenheim Fields as soon as possible. So
Okay.
I can have Ms. Tweed contact the committee and see about sometime one evening this week.
It would need to be next week, Tim.
Or next week?
Next week. I'm going to be out of town this week, so it would be next week if possible. We'll get with you.
Now, are you on that committee?
I don't know.
I think Robert and Danny and Jackie were on it. I'm not, but you're welcome. Yeah.
I'm on another one. If I'm
But
not,
we need,
I am, I'll be there.
and we need a committee meeting on the Wallace also.
Would you like to do this update on small projects while you're up here?
Go ahead and do it.
Be happy to.
Yeah, that's what I plan.
The baseball field in Wallace has been installed as it was designed, and the engineer designed a major division ball field which will accommodate 12-year-olds and below. And the question has been brought to my attention that the 13 and 14-year-olds, 7th and 8th graders, we didn't have the room. We had enough room to put the center or the outfield from home plate to center field to 200 feet. And that's what is required for, according to Little League Baseball, for a major, what they call is a major division field. So the discussion to use a portion of the Marlboro County recreational property that is adjacent to the ball fields in Wallace for a pony league, and I've learned a lot, by the way, pony league field to accommodate 13 and 14-year-olds has been promising. I have met with Mr. Coachman, Mr. Steen, Jason Steen with the county, and the county recreation director, Gary Harrington. And I've also talked to the administrator for the county, Mr. Jim Haynes. And they're all, it seems like everybody's going to work together.
There are big questions too about the softball, girls softball.
Well, that's what they'll be able to play on
Play
that
on that
field.
team,
We'll just
too.
be basically swapping.
The girls softball,
It's all taken care of.
I'm just getting calls about that.
well, no, the girls softball field that is 200 feet from home
Home
plate
plate.
to center, and that's what we have.
That's what we have, so we're
It'll
okay.
accommodate all
Okay.
of those.
All right.
All girls and from 12 years and below.
So now we're going to expand it to have a bigger field for the 13 and 14-year-olds.
For the 13, 14-year-olds. And then the Wallace Recreation Department also has a smaller, they have two fields now.
Right.
One smaller and one somewhat larger. So we'll probably be
They've got
sharing.
a field in Brightsville too.
Yeah, but that's
It's too far.
That's county. It's
Yeah.
separate out there. But we'll have it'll be fine for everybody. We'll be all playing together. The same kids will be on the rec field, middle school field. It's one big happy family.
So anyway, that is in the process. And then the next small project was a concession stand and press box. And Mr. Andy Fauché is here with PCI, the general contractor who built the concession stands and press box. On March 2nd, 2016, the Office of School Facilities conducted a final inspection, and the general contractor is working on the punch list. We had a little problem with the state fire marshal, also conducted an inspection, and the district has been cited with 5 violations. These violations are centered around an existing fire hydrant and a meter pit. I've engaged I've talked to Mr. Park and Dr. McLeod, and I've engaged the services of Blackwell Engineering to prepare a set of plans to address these violations. They're not major, but except for the fact that we have been cited, and it was a little touch and go to start with, because they said that we weren't going to be able to have an occupancy of the concession stand until this was corrected. But after talking with the inspector, he's going to allow us the time it takes to make the corrections. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to have what they call a fire watch. That it says fire watch shall provide with at least one approved means of notification of a fire department, and their only duty shall be to perform a constant patrol of the protected premises and keep watch for fires. And with that, he'll let us use the building, but and I've talked to Coach Boyd, he goes to every game, so he will open every door and look inside, make sure there's nothing on fire. Well, you know, I know you're laughing, but I'm telling you.
And if you don't work it out, you don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead and wait till they give you the fine.
Yeah.
If you think they're kidding. I'm just, you know.
We
but
installed the fire hydrants?
the fire hydrant was put in probably in '89, whenever the fire loop was put in. I'm not sure, but and what happens, they put the fire line in and they put a fire hydrant, and someone at a later time put irrigation in, and they tapped off of the tee that went to the fire hydrant.
Oh, wow.
And it ran the irrigation. Well, it's a meter pit, but the meter pit it's not
I
adequate.
trust you. I trust
It's
you.
got to be corrected. I mean, I'm
Okay.
just, you know.
But I'm just wondering why we can't get some help from people, you know, is it our business to put in fire hydrants?
Yeah, we own the fire line.
Oh, we own the whole line? Okay.
Yeah, you own it because it's on your property.
All right, hallelujah.
It's just like Wallace. I mean, we put in a fire loop in Wallace, and we own it. We have to maintain the fire hydrants and so forth. But the pit's too close to the hydrant, so the hydrant's got to be moved, and then the pit's got to be addressed.
So we need an engineering plan. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Are we in the facility, or are we using the building?
Now, we can use the building. Now, Mr. Fauché, I think, if you want to come forward and make a comment on what he's doing as far as the punch list is concerned.
Last time I was out there, we had one section, the restrooms open, the other section was not open, so I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because we start games on,
Already.
anybody? Have we started? Or I know we're doing scrimmage, but we should have season starting very soon.
Let's let Mr. Fauché start.
Thank you once again. I know you're tired of me coming here.
I'm happy it's still coming.
On February the 10th, we finished our Chapter 1 inspections, and we requested our final inspection from OSF. They showed up on March the 2nd. They were busy. They did generate a small list that was not picked up by the Chapter 1 inspectors. Those items were addressed. They were finished this afternoon. I sent photographs of the corrected measures to the Chapter 1 inspector, who will be here tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, because according to OSF, he has to physically see this. A photograph isn't enough. He's going to be here at 10. He'll write his letter. The ceiling goes in Wednesday. Wednesday evening, it's yours. Lock, stock, and barrel. Great. Sorry for the delay. I'm learning about OSF.
And all bathrooms are working now, both bathrooms?
Yes, yes, they are. And there, you know, there was an adjustment made, you're correct. There was an adjustment had to be made in the ladies, but that's been addressed and taken care of. Any other questions? Wednesday, it's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Howell, could you come and let's knock out the trips and the small projects?
Plus, you're not doing yours?
I'm going to postpone mine, and then we're going to go back to Mark Cook.
Madam Chair, members of the board,
sir.
you have 3 field trips before you for your consideration and approval.
there a motion?
Administration so moves.
Make a motion.
Go ahead, Michael.
I make a motion that we approve all 3 trips. The trips Cherry Grove, South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina, and camp at Fort Jackson.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, thank you. And then the update on the school project.
Yeah, we do
Football field.
have Mr. Jackson from Jumbo Carter and Cease to come and share with us tonight regarding issues with the football field.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson and Dr. Tiller and school board members. We were approached a couple years ago about some drainage issues on the football field at Marlboro County High School here at the high school. And looking at that field, there's a lot of water that was standing on the field, what we call just trapped on the field, and also water that was trapped on the track that surrounds the field. So what we did is look at a low-intensive approach to relieving the drainage on that field. And so by doing so, our goal was to get the water off of the field and get the water off of the track, but preserve the integrity of the field by not touching the field. We know that a field is sacred to the coach and is sacred to the players, so we tried not to go out there and basically dig trenches across the field and put an under-drain system. So with that said, we did perimeter work around the outside of the field, lowering the grades, lowering the boxes, getting a lot of that drainage off the field and getting a lot of drainage off of the track. And speaking with Dr. Boyd at the school, that, in his words, helped, but it didn't get all of the water. So we understand that with the rains that we've had this past year, past couple of years, that there's additional measures that can be taken, but they would be more intensive and actually have to go onto the field and put an under drain system out there if that's something that the school and the school board would like to do at this time. Either way, we know that we had to do that perimeter work. It was something that from our standpoint, we try not to touch that field if we absolutely positively do not have to. So we know we did that work and it helped, but we still know that there's still some water that's being trapped on that field, and so it's something that we feel you may need to look into to go out there and to relieve some of that drainage.
Do you have a cost for us and also a time that the field would be out of commission?
We have a budgetary cost, a unit cost for that, and it's something that we do want to talk more directly with the school on, because we don't want to just go out there and chop the whole thing up. We like to do it methodically in the areas of need without just broadcasting dollars and just throwing dollars out there. But typically when we do a field like that, we'll put a drainage system either every 10 yards in a moderate area. In a severe area, we'll put an under drain system every 5 yards out there. Based on that field, you're probably looking in the range of 150, upwards 175, definitely under 200 to do the entire field drainage system.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Goff.
Getting a little comic.
All right.
Getting a little comic relief there.
Well, listen, it's really not, because I mean because it's tax dollars that we attempted to address a problem, and if I'm not mistaken, somebody can correct me, Mr. Park, our low intensive approach cost us about $200,000.
Maybe a little less than that, obviously.
So for the exact same money, maybe a little less, we could get the field addressed in the manner that we asked that it be addressed when we started this process over 2 years ago. And I think we could probably go back and pull the recommendation from the board was to address the issues with the field. This low intensive approach, I don't think that was what we directed. I think we directed for the issues to be addressed. And, to come back here a year and a half later with the exact same issues, knowing that we spent $200,000, I'm of the opinion that the people we enlisted to do this owe us for the work that we asked that be done. I don't know how, I'll build you a bathroom for $200,000, or I can build you a house for $200,000, to go around it. I mean, and we pay $200,000 for, for the small piece. That's disturbing to me. And it's not, that's not your issue, but it's an issue, and it's an issue that we need to address as a board. Again, I'm of the opinion, and if that has to be in the form of a motion to direct the district, I think we've already paid for this service. And I think that the parties responsible for giving us this low-intensive approach need to be directed to remediate the problem. And if they choose not to do that, then I think we need to move from there.
Do you want to make a motion?
We already suggested that.
We
I thought that we suggested that when they told us that we had that problem out there. We suggested that the people that initially worked on that field come back and correct it.
Excuse me, Madam Chair. Who was the people that worked on the field? Who was the one that did the field?
I don't remember the name of the contractor that did the field. We were the design firm that prepared the plans for the field, but I'd like to make sure that it's clear that the perimeter work that was done had to be done either way, regardless of what we did to the field or not. It's more of it would have to have been in conjunction with the underdrain system if you did the underdrain system on the field. It's a two-phase construction process where you do the perimeter work, because you have to lower the grades to physically get the water off of the field and to get the water off the track. If we just went out and just spent the money to do the field, you would still have water trapped all the way around the edges and trapped on the track, and that would not have addressed the entire problem. So we were trying to preserve the integrity of the field and do just the perimeter work. That had to be done regardless of what we did to the field. So that money had to be spent. That was a good approach.
Okay, because one area on the field, I think on the visitor side, where a drain at, in the end zone, on that side.
Yes, sir.
That is a very, very unsafe area, where someone could really fall in there if we didn't have that. That's an area of my concern over there.
Okay.
Because that is very dangerous, where the field just like sloped down, and you got like a drain thing over there? A drain over there, and we've been blessed that no one got hurt in that area. So I'm new to the board, that's why I'm asking who did the work. I know they designed it, but I just want to know who done the work.
I'm just drawing a blank on the name of the contractor, sir. I apologize. Yes, sir.
Okay, hang on. I got them stacked up. Okay. So Ms. Owenation's next, and then I'll come to you.
And again, you're on the hot spot here because we went through a process of looking for various estimates of what to do with that field. And we had some lesser estimates to do the perimeter part. My understanding when we went into this is that we were trying to, quote, fix the field. We never got an estimate of $400,000 to $500,000 to do the field. We got some estimates that were across the board, everything from $25,000 up to $150,000, but we wanted to address the whole problem, because that kind of money for us for a football field is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I don't know if we spend $150 or $200. Do you know?
I think the contract was $120,000. I'm not sure what the design cost was.
Okay, and the design cost would be in addition to that. So it was our understanding that we were going in there to do a fix. That was my understanding. Is that everybody's understanding here?
We were told the problem was eliminated once the process was finished.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to be sure I wasn't dreaming that.
So would it be agreeable with you all, because we can't solve this problem tonight, for us to come back and sort this out, but we understand at this point we got a problem?
I'd like to ask you a question.
Okay, yeah.
When you did the perimeter, how low was the tile lines, and how much did you lower the drains? How low were they starting off, and how much did you lower them?
We lowered the grade We lowered the storm boxes, the drain boxes in the 6 to 8 inch range. I know there were 2 existing boxes on the roadside, the main roadside out here that were severely low, and we had to adjust those. Those are pretty close to where we wanted our permanent elevation on there. But we had to lower the grade in between the boxes, and that got lowered somewhere in like 3 inch range, 3 or 4 inches, something like that. We had to get the grade down below the track. The challenge that we had is the grade was up at the top of the curb and was preventing water from getting off of the track, and it was trapping water onto the track. And so it was there, and the water coming off the field was therefore getting trapped on the field because it couldn't get to the boxes. There were dips in between the boxes out there. So we lowered the entire perimeter around there to get all of that water off of the field and attempt to get the water off of the field and get the water off of the track. We wanted to preserve the track. We wanted to lower the water table in the area. But as we all know, that there's still water that's just being perched, that is just not perking into the ground, and it's not running off on that field. When we look at fields, we try to take a design approach to grade anywhere between 9 inches to 1.5 feet on a field, if we were to touch the field. We didn't touch the field out here. But we did know that, in our studies, that field out there is relatively flat, and we knew that it still had a lot of trouble getting water off of the field. Flat, I mean, not solid flat, but a low slope for grass to get water from the center of the field off to the edge.
So it's my understanding, what you're telling me is you lowered the drains 3 inches.
Yes, sir.
About that much. And it costs $175,000, $200,000 to lower them that much, and you were trying to get the water off of the field. And that field has a foot crown in the middle. There's a crown in that field. I know what you're saying, it's flat, but it's not. Football fields have crowns. That one has a crown of a foot or better, and it's coming to the side. You lowered everything around there about 3 inches, thinking that would accomplish what you wanted to do as far as the train from the track and the field. And that was in lieu of just land leveling from the track, because it'd been easier to move 3 inches of dirt around on top of the ground than dig all that up. But I'm understanding what you're saying is you lowered it 3 inches. Thinking that would accomplish what you wanted to do.
Our goal was we lower the entire grade all the way around the track.
Right.
Every box was adjusting the grade. Yes, sir.
And 3 inches was going to accomplish what you wanted to do.
It was going to get the water off of the field. Yes. Our goal was to get water.
Because those drains were up about like that from the bottom of the boxes. The reason I know all this is because I surveyed it.
Yes, sir.
So all of it was about like that.
Yes, sir.
So all of it was up about like that from the bottom of the boxes because you had a silt trap set in there.
Yes,
so
sir.
the silt come in, it builds up, you take it out.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not sure that would have ever worked, but that I understand what you're covering.
We
thought it would. Okay. Thank you.
Is it agreeable with you all to put this subject on another meeting for more time?
And I would also ask that they they provide the board with the bid packet so we can see what the actual scope of work that was actually bid on.
Okay.
And I think that ought to be something they can provide for us too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now, Mark Cook is here with the Heritage Keepers. It's an abstinence education program, and welcome.
Have
Mr.
you been
Cook.
here a while? I'm sorry I didn't see you out there. Thank you, sir. I want y'all to hear that. It's been quite enlightening. I love it. I'm interested in you and Jimmy Carter should be good at reconciliation.
Oh, well, no, this has been
You're wonderful to see.
a great experience. Madam Chairman and board members and Dr. Tiller, I went that way.
She's gone to the ladies' room.
Yes.
She'll be back.
Well, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here. And I will tell you that when I say it's been most enlightening, I have been very encouraged by what I've heard as you're beyond the facilities. You're concerned for your children and young adults that you're raising here in Marlborough County. And that's what Heritage Keepers is about. It's about life skills and self-efficacy and developing values and support systems around our young children as they become adolescents and young adults, regardless of their socioeconomic background, regardless of single parent family, or what we would know as the classic two-parent family. And so what you have there before you, this Heritage Keepers material is Abstinence Until Marriage evidence-based sex education curriculum. And it's designed for middle schoolers, it's designed for high schoolers, but it's also designed for parents. We do a parent workshop, we do youth conferences as well. We have over 3,300 hours of curriculum. The base course is 450 hours, 450 minutes, excuse me, of curriculum. And all of that is in this packet. I don't even have time to go over this. The very first thing in your packet is frequently asked questions about Heritage Keepers. And I will just say, as you read further back, South Carolina Comprehensive Health Education Act requires that abstinence until marriage curriculum be involved in the sex education programs of schools in South Carolina. And so that's what you have before you. And I mentioned that it's evidence-based. The evidence is quite supportive. We do pre-course surveys as well as post-course surveys. All those are anonymous, and anyone doing the courses obviously do the courses if they've had parental approval. And we have certified educators male educators who do the males, and female educators that do the females, and the curriculum designed for the middle school and the high school. And it works, and the post surveys and then the studies that we've done have showed that the sexual activity of our teens is drastically reduced by going through this course. But also, and we think in terms of our highly sexualized culture, the statistics out there, the U.S. statistics, the CDC tells us that 70% of teenagers 17 and under aren't sexually active. And so that's an important aspect as we think in terms of abstinence. We often have a mentality that our young people don't have the capacity to be abstinent. Our curriculum is behavioral, it's cognitive, it's affective, and it's behavioral. So we address the information. In your packet, there is a summary of all of the curriculum material. We cover reproductive activity, we cover anatomy, we cover STDs, and we do a lot of role playing with that. We cover the benefits of marriage. We have a wonderful chapter on the difference between love, lust, and infatuation that really addresses all the chemical activity that's going on in adolescent brains. And so this is my kind of introduction to your board. And so I want to submit this packet to you for your perusal. I will let you know that there on the very first page after the questions is this Teen Pregnancy Prevention Resource Center evidence-based programs that has been approved by the United States Health and Human Service Office of Adolescent Health, and we're on that. We're one of 37, and we're one that is abstinence until marriage. The other thing you'll see in your packet is what we call predictors, the top 10 predictors of sexual activity. And that comes, there are more than 10, but we've got the top 10 listed, and that's listed in the curriculum as well. Dr. Stan Weed, a sociologist of the Institute for Research and Evaluation, for 30 years has studied sexual activity and done research with thousands of adolescents, and has come up with these predictors, and these predictors are how we've developed our curriculum. And just quickly, in the parent workshop, this is the book for the parent workshop, Sex, Lies, and Hookups. And the curriculum in this is also the curriculum that is used for the classes with our certified educators. And I want to make sure that Dr. Tiller has a copy of this, and the middle school and high school principal. Then we have a teacher's manual, as well as each student is a student manual. I'm not here selling anything, but I will tell you that everything we do is generated by the grants that we receive from the state. We have our own educators in some schools right now in South Carolina, but they're based on the grants we've already received for this year. We can come in and train your educators with our curriculum, and our certified educators training you. But today is basically, I'm trying in 5-10 minutes to give you an enormous amount of information over a very important topic in reference to the welfare of our adolescents and who become young adults. We do have a chapter that focuses on the benefits of marriage. And again, speaking of it being evidentiary, the socioeconomic impact of people not being sexually active, not contracting STDs, not having unwanted pregnancies, their test scores, their grade level, their college degrees, their economic production, all of those things go higher. And so I thank you for letting me share this with you. We have, this is the training manual for the certification, and just wonder if there's any questions I can answer. A lot of the questions will be answered in that very first handout that's in the folder.
I'd like to know if you'd come back after we've had a chance to study.
I would be happy to do that. I feel like this is just me throwing this at you, almost like a fire hose, so to speak. And I would love to have the opportunity when the board has had a chance to look at this material and evaluate it and consider it being something that would benefit your schools and your children and your young adults.
What's the cost to do the program?
Well, that's one of the questions in there, and that also depends on what grants that we get. But there's the cost for the manuals, and the schools can do it a couple of ways. We really like the students, each student to have a manual that they write in. Some school districts decide that that's not as cost effective, so they buy enough for the students to use, but have them write in something else. So it depends on whether, if our educators, if we get a grant and our educators come in, because we're not making anything off this. This is Heritage Community Services, a nonprofit, and everything goes back into what we're doing. But there is a breakdown of that, Ms. Parsons. I think it's way back in the back of that. How much does it cost the school or students to use the Heritage Keepers program? The next to the last page. Okay. And you see how that's broken down. Okay? Any other questions?
Thank you so
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very
and
much.
I just really, Ms. Fleming, I would agree with you that just in listening and watching in the spirit of this board, I would want to pat you on the back. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I don't. I gave one to Pat Hannigan and one to Janice Frazier. One of them got yours. Okay. So he's got one for you. Okay.
That's the packet.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and next we're going to move on to textbook adoptions.
That was tough. That was
Dr. Lane and Ms. Blair.
How you doing? Good to see you this morning.
Dr. Tiller, Madam Chairperson, members of the board, good evening to each of you. We are pleased to indicate, as you have in your packet, that there are 5 textbooks that are up for adoption this year: K-5 Social Studies, K-5 Science, High School Biology, and your packet says High School Economics, but that's High School Government, and IBA Computer Apps. We're also pleased to indicate that the books that are being recommended provide for engaging learning activities, they effectively address the state standards, they enhance the development of critical thinking skills, and they facilitate student excellence in learning. My colleague, Ms. Blair, has taken our team through a series of workshops and training, and they have exhaustively reviewed the books, and I'll let her share the process with you.
Basically, K-5 Social Studies teachers voted on McGraw-Hill. And they voted on McGraw-Hill because of consumable workbooks, student-friendly hands-on activities, foldables. It correlates to reading skills, quick lab inquiry cards, rubric for projects in each unit, South Carolina pass-like items, PowerPoints and interactive whiteboard activities, edible lesson plans, and extensive professional development.
And let me, if I could, just for the board for a few minutes, go back, just to let you know that every 5 years or so, the State Department of Education will put up for adoption different textbooks. And for example, with the social studies textbooks, what they'll do is have a caravan, and it goes around, and what the State Department makes sure of is that all of the textbooks that they provide for districts to consider for adoption, they all address our state standards. And then our teachers and teachers from all across the state, as well as board members and parents, you have an opportunity to review these textbooks and then have your input. And then once that has decided, we'll send in our decision as a district to the State Department of Ed. So the materials that we have here this evening are the materials that our teachers have already reviewed and have given us the feedback that Mrs. Blair shared with us this evening.
Okay. And for K-5 science, Pearson was chosen basically because it's consumable, vocabulary flashcards, lab investigations, hands-on and virtual, lab inquiry cards to create interest and begin lessons. Now, the schools collaborated with their teachers at their schools and reached a consensus. And we had a majority to vote for Pearson for science and a majority to vote for McGraw-Hill for social studies. Now, the third grade social studies is the only one that is approved at the State Department level, so we didn't have to vote on that one. Okay, it's my South Carolina story. And at the high school, the departments gathered together in biology. They talked about the book, and they chose Glencoe McGraw-Hill. And high school social studies, they chose McGraw-Hill. For IBA computer apps, they chose Synergy. And that was majority.
And for your convenience, these books are on display for you to review after the meeting if you like, or during your break.
Is there a nation?
We have very much improved on our U.S. history scores. But we had some problems with the books. I won't be specific about that, but I know the two of you have paid close attention to that. We want our children to be able to succeed in their U.S. history situation. And do you feel these books address that need?
We do.
Yes. And you know they were lacking before,
Yes.
right? Major. So I just want to be reassured about that.
Yes, we were very pleased.
There are many other things, but that particularly, we came up from like 15 to 58%, but we need to be at 80%, and they weren't getting it. You know, they just weren't getting it delivered to them. Okay.
Ms. Fleming?
Thank you.
Would it be possible for me to get the social studies book to look through them? Because I'm sure you're aware of the controversy with McGraw-Hill, how they're trying to rewrite history, that the Texas schools, the state of Texas, a parent looked in the book and they did some things that was not good, and they had to give it back to McGraw-Hill and they had to reprint the book. I'll just be curious to get a copy of that book and look at it, because I love to read, because a parent found the discrepancy. They were going to rewrite history. I'm not sure if you're aware, I'm sure you are aware of it, but we don't want that to happen here.
Absolutely.
And if I could get a copy of those social studies books,
I will. I'll pack them up. When I pack them up,
I
I'll
just
give you
need
those.
the social, that's only the social studies, that's all I
Okay,
want.
okay.
And I'd
that's
like to
fine.
look through them.
Sure.
I'm glad you brought that up. I've wanted to get some old history books for my granddaughter, because I don't want her to have a rewritten history.
Exactly. History is what it is, whether it's
right.
good or bad. You don't want to make anybody feel good. And that's what McGraw-Hill did. And when you're saying McGraw-Hill tonight, it sticks in my craw because I did not like what they did. They're supposed to be educators, and they're supposed to know, and they got away with it, but then a parent found it. So I'm sure
I want to second that from what Ms. Fleming has said, because I've been very interested in our history, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. I got here at 5, a little after 5
I didn't look at
today.
anything either.
And I don't want to undermine anything you're doing, but if we're not in
Absolutely
a
not.
huge rush to vote, I
Yeah.
would like to at least look at the books.
Can we postpone?
Or do y'all need it?
We
you
start
need
the
to order?
pre-order on the
Pre-order.
14th of March.
Okay.
So that gives us a week.
We're going to have I hope we're going to have a meeting next Monday.
I would like to
Put that-
look at it, man. There's several things there, and there's some concerns about the beginnings of our history in America.
Yeah.
That there's so little in there about the Revolutionary War and all of that process that our children just think we started,
15
after the
years
Second
ago.
World War or less than that. Yeah, and
Would that give you all enough time?
Yes,
Yes.
It would?
I give you.
All right.
Oh, I didn't
So-
even answer for them.
So would that be agreeable with everyone to postpone this vote, and anybody that wants to read the book between now and Monday?
Yep, I'll look at it.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Goff? You're so agreeable. How about you, Mr. Driggers?
I'm going to do it because that's important to me. It's important to me.
If it's important to you, Ms. Fleming, we'll try to do it. So, next Monday, you'll be on the agenda. You won't have to come. We'll vote. How's that?
Okay.
All right. And while we're talking about that, is it agreeable with you all to have a special call meeting next Monday to put this issue on there and to finish the superintendent's evaluation? Is that agreeable with everyone?
Well, Madam Chair, I will not be available because that is during the time that I'm supposed to go to North Carolina as part of the $20 million early college grant.
We can do it.
Okay, well,
We're good to go. Yep.
okay.
All right. So, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see where we are. Mr. Parks. Financial report as of February 23rd. Before you start, did the thing about the ball field remind you of the water project with the city?
Slightly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Tiller, you have before you the financial statement dated as of February 23rd, 2016. I don't know if there's any questions. I'd be glad to entertain those. Okay.
Any questions? All right, then let's move on to approval of revision to procurement policy DJR to include local vendor preference, and this will be the second reading.
Right. The board authorized staff to draft a revision to the district's procurement policy to include a local vendor preference for first reading, which was approved at last month's meeting. The policy revision was edited to provide additional clarity by stating within the parentheses within Marlborough County. Attached is a revised policy incorporating the changes, and of course we're asking for approval of the policy as amended for second reading.
Does anyone have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve it on second reading.
Second?
Second.
Any debate?
I did want to clarify that I understand that the $5,000 is the
That is the
highest
maximum.
rate.
It's a maximum
Everybody
preference.
okay with that? I just want to point that out. Okay.
All right, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Good. And the motion's carried.
Thank you.
And we need an update on the salvage sale at Old Wallace School.
Okay. On February 1st, 2016, students began classes in the new Wallace Elementary Middle School, which is furnished with all new furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Since then, all principals were notified and given the opportunity to tag any items at the school that they needed for their schools. After the removal of the tagged items, the remainder of the contents of the Old Wallace School will be available for salvage sale. Since the last board meeting, an auctioneer with local public school auction experience has been secured to conduct the salvage sale on March 19th, 2016, and that's starting at 10 o'clock a.m. 10 o'clock a.m. Asbestos abatement crews engaged by Thompson Turner Construction began preparing a series of buildings for the upcoming demolition. The gymnasium will be sealed off from the abatement crews through the salvage sale date. The abatement should be completed by Easter break. Thompson Turner bid the demolition with a construction contract for the new school, which should occur shortly after the completion of the asbestos abatement project. All contents not being redistributed to schools will be located in the gym for the upcoming sale. Attached, please find communication with Dave Duff stating his concurrence with satisfying all the legal requirements involving the disposing of public property, as well as his review of the auction contract. Robertson and Associates auctioneers will charge the standard 15% fee selling price for his services, resulting in the district netting 85% of the selling price. Rather than the district having to pay for advertising, the auctioneer will be charging a 5% buyer's premium at the sale to cover those costs. He will advertise in local and regional papers, and that will include Sherrill, Chesterfield, Marion, Dillon, Hartsville, and Florence, trade journals, as well as social media and websites to attract prospective buyers and thereby increase proceeds for the district. See the attached contract as executed with Rob Robertson and Associates auctioneers.
Anybody have a problem with the contract? Make a motion that we authorize the superintendent to execute the contract to Bob Robertson and Associates auctioneers.
All right, any debate? All in favor, raise your right hand.
No. I got a question about something else. No, I got a question.
Oh, all right.
I got something after this.
Okay. All right.
I got something I want to ask Mr. Parker. Is that what you got?
No, I got something I want to ask.
I want to ask Mr. Parker.
Is this about this question?
Well, it's somewhat similar to it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the salary part up there that you're doing, it's not really, excuse me, I told you it was
It's okay.
white lie, I didn't mean to. On the destruction of the building up there, where you're
Yes, sir.
tearing the building down, all of the materials as far as the brick and all that are going to be hauled away, correct?
Yes, they will
Is
be.
there a chance that we could talk with someone about using some of that brick as far as where that fast slope goes down to maybe shore up some of that in there? Who do I need to bring that up to?
Probably we ought to have that discussion with Thompson Turner Construction.
I'm concerned about the slope going there. It washes
sir.
off. It causes some problems later on. This is coming from my old work habits a long time ago. But I'm concerned about some of the erosion on that slope going down in there. I was just wondering if we could use some of that material, brick or whatever, just to form a wall or something there in lieu of hauling it off. I mean, you know, it's got to be cheaper to put it there than haul it off.
Right.
But if you could just get back with me on who I need to speak with or how I
Certainly.
about that.
And along those lines, and I don't know if we've already decided this, I have had a lot of requests from some who graduated from Wallace that they wanted some bricks the original bricks. Now, I don't know how difficult that is or how much trouble we would have dealing with that.
Ms. Henson is already...
Dealing with that?
We've already discussed that with
So they are
the jumper
dealing-
cart and Season, Thompson, and Turner.
Okay, I knew we had talked about it, but I didn't want to lose that. I wanted to bring it up. Okay.
All right, I know, y'all are trying to trick me because we had a vote, and I don't think I ever said that it passed. I think it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, vote again, just so Ms. Tweed knows who voted. Who seconded? I did.
Jackie seconded.
Y'all are getting tricky.
I didn't mean to disrupt, but
That's
I
fine.
think that's an idea that we could use some of that brick and all to build that up so it doesn't.
There's
slough
a
off.
lot of low areas there on that side for certain.
Mr. Diggers, you just keeping me on my toes.
Yes, I tried.
Thank you.
Well, it makes good sense. Don't haul it off if we can use it.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Dr. Tiller.
Mr. Parks, did you provide, I didn't see it, a copy of the request that we've received for the board?
I haven't included any of the requests that we received. Of course, the things that are requested that are permanently attached with the building are part of the responsibility of our demolition contractor. We have communicated with Tim Brown on this, and he's kind of coordinating with the demolition contractor. So the price has already been established for the cost of the demolition. So at this point in time, those things that are permanently attached are actually effectively the property of the demolition contractor.
That means that HVAC units, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes,
That means
ma'am.
they will be taking the units off.
They'll be demolition. There will be demolition involved, and
That we
we'll
salvage,
we'll
we'll go to
need
them,
to coordinate that with through Mr. Brown.
Okay.
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 Thank you, Mr. Parks. Dr. Carr,
Okay.
you're up.
Very good.
2016.
Is there?
Oh, sorry.
Before
Any other
Dr. Cobb, I just got one question. I know you said a special call meeting next Monday. Is it appropriate, I'm just asking for clarity, is it appropriate to do the evaluation without her?
We're not doing the evaluation, we're just, it's for you all to look at the letter that came.
Okay,
from
okay.
Duff.
All right, I just want to be, okay. I just want to make sure we're being respectful, make sure,
Yeah,
that's why.
it's not to do the evaluation, it's just to make sure that everything is,
So Mr. Duff gonna be here?
he can't be here, but it's for you, and he said he didn't need to be here.
Okay.
Well, what are we gonna be doing then?
Looking at the letter that, and I'm, if y'all can give me your emails, or I can give it to Ms. Tweed.
What letter?
And she can send it. You know, you ask him to do a letter that summed up the list of things.
Okay.
Okay?
Ms. Parson, you know what, all due respect, I think we need to have a meeting with Mr. Duff, the board, because there's some inconsistencies what he's sharing with some of the board members, because I think the board need to sit down and talk to him about what we need him to do for us as a district. Because like the letter you're talking about, you know, we just need to have a talk with him. I'll talk to you about it in the executive session.
Okay, all right, whatever.
Okay.
So are y'all for having a meeting next Monday or not having a meeting next Monday? Because if you don't want to have a meeting next Monday, we need to go back up here and vote on the textbooks.
Well, my thing, I just want everything done appropriately and right, and I understand what you're saying, but my understanding that he was supposed to be here when we start discussing the letter that we were supposed to talk to him about a while back, that he was gonna be at the meeting.
And I tried to have him at the meeting.
Right, so we,
He called me
you're right.
and said he couldn't come, that another.
Well, I think the appropriate thing to do is he need to be here when we meet. That's the appropriate thing to do.
All right, then.
I don't have a problem with, if the vote comes up on the textbooks, I still want, I have no problem with accepting that and voting for it, but I still want to look at the book. And if I find anything, because I'll start on it immediately, if I find anything that I have a question about, I can let them know.
All right,
But if we
let's
want to
go
go ahead and do that and vote on the book.
All right, let's go back and
let's wait till
So,
Mr. Duff
make a
comes here
motion,
so we can do it.
someone.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the textbooks as presented by Ms. Blair. and Dr. Lang.
I
Is there a
second.
second? All right, all in favor, please raise your right hand. All right, we're done on that, okay? All right, so then I'll contact Mr. Duff again and see when he can come.
Yeah, and when
So-
Dr. Tiller can be present, so we can get it all done.
All right, so Dr. Cobb, the 2000, you feel like a bouncing ball, don't you? 2016-17 traditional and extended school year district calendars, first reading and vote needed.
Madam Chair, school board members, you have in your packet a copy of the 2016-2017 traditional calendar. The staff had 3 choices in the traditional calendar and 2 choices with the extended school year calendar for McCall. The administration recommends first reading of the traditional and extended school year district calendars.
Someone like to make a motion?
We do have election day since this is a presidential year. We've got that. I'm just double checking. I know one year we didn't. It's not November 8th. November 4th.
You have to be included every other year.
Yeah.
Is it November 8th?
Yes.
Second Tuesday?
Second Tuesday is November 8th.
Yes.
It's there. I make a motion, we approve the calendars as presented for the extended year calendar
I second.
and the regular calendar.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion, whoops, Mr. Coachman, you with us?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm good.
all right. Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you, Dr. Cobb. All right, Dr. Tiller, the superintendent's report.
Good evening. I would like to first start off by recognizing and thanking Coach Payton. I know he's trying to hide back there, and we'll have his team in a little later, but Coach Payton, stand up. We're very proud of our our boys varsity basketball team. They are the Region 6 champs, and we went all the way to the 3rd round of the playoffs, and I want you to know that they only got us by 3 points, and our kids did great, our staff was great, and Coach Pate, we just want to thank you for carrying us that far. We haven't been that far in a long time, so thank you, and we'll definitely have you back with your team to recognize you all formally. I'd also like to share the fact that we're excited that once again our Marlboro School of Discovery Jazz Band has received a superior rating at the South Carolina Band Directors Association Jazz Festival on last Saturday. As you know, each judge gives a total of 6 scores to make up each individual score. This year is the first time in Mr. Davis, in his career, that he had a band to receive an A in all sub-captions from each judge. One judge caught him in the hallway and said that our jazz band should actually consider submitting a recording to be considered as a performing ensemble at the South Carolina Music Educators Conference, and that would be great for our band to be showcased at the Music Educators Conference. And he did send me, and I wanted Mr. Toole to play it, but Mr. Toole said that the technology is not working over there. And see, now it's telling me I can't download either. But I wanted you to hear a couple of those concert selections. They were outstanding. Our band was just outstanding. So I just want you all to know. And what I'll do is I'll send board members, I'll send you the link. And so then you can pull it up at home. But we have a lot to be proud of with our students from School of Discovery and what they've been able to do. In addition to that, I received a report from the State Department of Education on last week, and this is a South Carolina High School Completers Report, and this was for data that they collected in 2013-14 school year, and I'm pretty sure we'll be getting this data again. But I was so thrilled to look at, and what this report captures is the percentage of students that graduate from Marlboro County High School, what percent are actually attending a 2 or 4-year college? And I want you to know we had 77.2%. We had 29.4% attending a 4-year. We had a 2-year college, we had 4.4%. Technical college, in a degree-bearing program, we had 43.4%. And I want you to know that our percent of students going off to some post-high school type institution was higher than most of our neighboring districts. And so I was excited about that, and I'm sure that our Marlboro Edge program has helped with that. The agreement that we have with Northeastern Technical College, in the fact that our 9th grade academy, from the time we started 9th grade to 12th grade, that's what we've been pushing to make sure that we have a K-16 or K-14 focus, that our students realize that they have to move forward and attain more than just a high school diploma. The last item I have this evening is the Marlboro County School District is partnering with South Carolina Special Olympics and Project Unified to host the county's first basketball tournament for Special Olympics. The tournament will take place Thursday, March 10th, that's this week, in the gymnasium here at the high school. Opening ceremonies are at 9 a.m., followed by a skills competition, and ending the day with exciting 3-on-3 matches. The community is invited to attend and cheer on the county special athletes. There will be souvenirs and concessions available. Marlboro County has not hosted Special Olympics in a number of years. There are 96 students in grades pre-K through 12 from throughout the county participating. Regular education students are involved too, playing on teams with exceptional education students who need more assistance. That falls in line with Project Unified's goal of unifying exceptional and regular education students in every way possible. Volunteers play a big part in the Special Olympics, and among the volunteers at this year's tournament will be players from the girls and boys basketball teams and cheerleaders at Marlboro County High School. Also, the STEMS class from Blenheim Elementary Middle School and several community members will be participating. Parking will be provided in the rear parking lot. Please use the gym entrance and remember to sign in upon arrival. Closing ceremony will be around 2 o'clock. And so we're very excited about the Special Olympics and having that here at the high school and being able to host that for our students. Special Olympics provide excellent opportunities for our students, and so we're excited about that. And this year we're starting small, and that's the reason we're doing basketball only. But if you are available, please come out and join us on that day. And Ms. Parsons, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Tiller. All right, do we have items? Okay, what are they?
Elections.
All right.
Some personnel.
Okay.
Yes,
I need a motion to go into executive session for elections and personnel matters.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second. Is there a second? I'm sorry, you just said second. All in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion's carried unanimously. We're in executive session.
Thursday the 10th. It starts in the morning.